Find a job you love and you'll never work a day in your life, apparently. I'm Lindsay, I'm a writer, and I actually make my living as a writer now. It's taken a long time, but I finally got there, and I do love it. I love it. That didn't sound sincere, but that's because I'm English and emotionally constipated. And of all the jobs in the world, I think this is the one I'm most compatible with, and that's what I want to talk about today. So without further ado, let's jump straight in and talk about the traits that you need if you want to be a writer. No, there's more ado. For about 5 years now, I've mainly written audio drama. And it's not just drama. There's murder mystery, comedy, ghost stories, folk tales, historical action adventure. Oh look, our website. They're all the shows I've written. Yeah, there they are. You can hear them on any podcast platform, just so you know. Anyway. When I say obsessive in terms of a writing career, I think I mean, can you focus on something for a very long time? Do you enjoy taking it apart bit by bit?
And then putting it back together, and then taking it apart, and then putting it back together again. Lying in bed thinking about it so you can't get to sleep, and then waking up and you're still kind of thinking about it, and then you get in the shower and you come up with new things because you always come up with new things in the shower. Sometimes completely different ideas, and then that interferes with the thing you're actually doing, and that's no help at all.
Maybe you've heard of the philosophical paradox, the ship of Theseus. It's pretty complex, but don't worry, I've read the Wikipedia article. So, Theseus had a ship, and over time, every single part of that ship was replaced. So is it the same ship as before, or something entirely new? Being a writer can sometimes feel like being a carpenter on the ship of Theseus, except you're not just replacing every single part, you're also changing the colour, putting in a slide, ensuite toilet in the captain's cabin, trampoline so it's easier to get into the crow's nest. It was one project I did, Ghosted. This is the merchandise, in fact. I'm wearing it right now. The reason I mentioned Ghosted is because I had a lot of problems with this story, and if it wasn't for the obsessive element of my personality, this is where it'd be right now. I actually wrote Ghosted for my dissertation in 2021, but I wasn't satisfied with it, so I put it aside forever. But I couldn't stop thinking about it. It was like a jigsaw puzzle where I'd forced some of the pieces into the wrong place. So after about a year, I looked at it again, rewrote it for the umpteenth time, and now you can listen to it and buy the merch. Is this just a big advert? Maybe. Superman'd myself open there. I still think I could improve it. But it's too late now, isn't it? Sometimes you just gotta leave it alone. I'm sure you've seen those articles where they tell you all about a famous person's day-to-day routine, and they're normally completely mad. It's the same with writers, invariably very weird schedules. This chap here is prolific Victorian novelist Anthony Trollope. Trollope aimed to write 250 words every quarter of an hour from 5:30 in the morning to 8:30 in the morning. Another very disciplined writer, Haruki Murakami. His writing routine is very strict indeed. Murakami gets up at 4 in the morning, writes for 5 to 6 hours, and then goes for a 10-kilometre run. He says, I keep to this routine every day without variation. It's a form of mesmerism. I mesmerise myself to reach a deeper state of mind. Talking of a routine that would actually kill me, Hunter S. Thompson. Oh my God. So he'd get up at 3 p.m. I could do that part. He'd do a lot of cocaine. Like, an extraordinary amount of cocaine. But in the interests of balance, he'd also do some acid. He'd start writing at midnight, and he'd keep going until about 6 a.m. Gertrude Stein, the American novelist, poet, and playwright. Gertrude Stein liked to write outside and look at cows. There had to be cows. Miss Stein sits on a camp stool with pencil and pen, and Miss Toklas, Gertrude's life partner, fearlessly switches a cow into her line of vision. If the cow doesn't seem to fit in with Miss Stein's mood, the ladies get into the car and drive on to another cow. We need to find a better cow. My schedule is quite reactive. Totally the opposite of Murakami. I have to figure out each day what I need. I do have one rule. I cannot edit after 9 p.m. I look at my work after 9 p.m. and I think it's such dross. And I'll just delete things. I'll delete huge chunks and I'll be like, well, I'm just editing. I'm just taking away the bad bits. That's fine. That's exactly what editing is. And then I'll come back the next day and be like, what have I done? I can't trust myself after 9 p.m, so I step away from the computer. And this kind of flexibility is also really good if you have a chronic illness that constantly screws up your scheduling. With the rise of low-stakes cozy fiction, you don't actually have to be a sadist to be a writer. But it helps. Generally, you really like your main character. You love them. You think they're great. Flawed, but great. But then you hurt them. Sometimes when I'm coming up with story outlines, I think who would suffer the most if I put them in this scenario? Isn't that horrible? It's like Frodo in Lord of the Rings. Poor Frodo. Living his lovely life in the Shire. Totally unequipped for adventure. Perfect. It's always someone capable of rising to the challenge, but wow, are they going to suffer in the process? The character I've tormented the most is probably JJ, who is the lead character in Mockery Manor. Merchandise for our most popular audio drama, Mockery Manor. Over 3 seasons of Mockery Manor, JJ's changed a lot, sometimes in very unhealthy ways. It would be emotionally dishonest if JJ wasn't scarred by all the crap I've put her through. However, Mockery Manor is not an unflinching look at trauma. It's not gritty at all. It's actually quite silly in many ways. It's got a lot of comedy. There is a loss of laughter even in the most painful of situations. And JJ experiences triumph as well. But that triumph doesn't wash away everything that came before. While we are comforted by the resolution that occurs when a story is wrapped up, the characters themselves are going to carry things forward. Personally, I find that reflection of real life, the fact that bad things happen and they do affect you, they change you forever. Yeah, I do find it comforting. You can heal, but sometimes it's a bit like chronic illness. You're going to be managing those symptoms for the rest of your life. Oh, interesting. I might have gone off topic here. Have I gone off topic, or is this why I'm so sadistic? Anyway, I'm going to leave it there today because I'm not used to doing YouTube videos and this has taken a huge amount of time. Curiosity, openness. I am a floating brain. What does that mean? Not materialistic, because you never have any money. Loves DIY. What? At peace with uncertainty and rejection. Is that a trait? Here's an interesting point. Apparently the algorithm doesn't share women as much as men. So I actually considered wearing a moustache for the thumbnail. Should I do that? That's stupid, isn't it? So that's my first YouTube video in this style. What do you think? Goodbye. I love you. Bye now.